Good morning, this is a short screencast to show how to install category breadcrumbs into your theme if you're using Shopify's new themes, the 2.0 themes. So here I've got a store, this one I've just set up. It's got some products, collections and navigation. If you haven't set those up already, please refer to my other screencast, the one that takes you through all the basics of getting those things set up. And if I go into here, I can just show you what I've got. I've got a handful of 50 or so products. I've arranged them into collections, one collection for each of the places I want my categories to go to when people click on them. And then in online store, in navigation, I've created a menu structure which is going to give me the set of categories. Now all of that's covered in the other screencast, so please by all means look at that one and certainly get to this state before you go into the next bit. Right, so after I've done that, I'm going to now go to the App Store and I'm going to install Category Breadcrumbs. This screencast is really about Category Breadcrumbs, but you could be using Categories Uncomplicated, which has Category Breadcrumbs as one of its components, and it works in a very similar way. So I'm going to customize my store and it's going to take me to the App Store. When it does, I'm going to do a search for breadcrumbs, and Category Breadcrumbs is right here. So I'm going to select that. Add the app. Now in adding the app, it's going to ask me to check the permissions. So it'd say, am I happy to accept the things that this app will be able to do? I click install app and it then takes me through to the billing screen. So here you can see the billing screen. On here we've got a 10-day free trial and it explains when the free trial starts and finishes. If you uninstall the app during that time, Shopify won't charge you for it. Also, because I'm doing this on a development store, development stores are free, and so this is a test charge. If I promote my development store to becoming a production store, then there'll be a new billing arrangement and it would show up again in exactly the same way. But the essence of it is exactly the same. It's a $5 monthly charge, but only for production stores. So I'm going to approve that subscription. I go through then into the app. And in the app, my first priority is to get my category list brought through. Now, it's going to show this screencast if you want to watch it. I'm going to hide that for now. And already it's brought through the categories, but I'm going to show how to bring them through again. I've got a storefront password on mine, so I'm going to enter that storefront password and click refresh. If I didn't have a storefront password, I'm not going to say that now. If I didn't have a storefront password, it would just be a refresh button here, and I'd click that and get a new category list. So the categories I've set up at the moment have some duplicates, and that's because I've got one category tree under my main menu, but I've replicated that category tree under a categories menu. You don't have to do the same thing. There's loads of different ways of setting this up, and they're all covered in that other screencast that I referred to earlier. But if here I select top level and I drag this down, I can set the top level of my category tree as categories, and that means that the root of it will be that top level category, so that underneath it I've then just got my neat set of categories. Now when I refresh my category list, if I just refresh this page, the category advisor is going to look at that category list. It's going to detect that there are no duplicate categories, and so it says the status is okay. From this point, I'm ready to progress to the next stage, and this is different for Themes 2.0. So ever since Shopify released Themes 2.0, we've now got the situation where we use the Shopify Theme Editor to install the app. We don't have to go and mess with the liquid in the theme itself. So big step forward. Here are the steps that are articulated. These are the steps for Themes 2.0. If you're seeing in the app a set of different steps, it's probably because you've currently got a 1.0 theme, and 1.0 themes, which are the most popular, they're the widest used at the moment because Theme 2.0 is new. Those 1.0 themes have a different set of steps, and therefore it's important to see the difference. The crucial thing here is that what we've tried to do ever since Shopify made this change with Theme 2.0 is to make it really easy and straightforward to edit your theme, and that's what we're going to do now. So open up your current theme. I'm just going to open that in a new tab. This will open the Shopify Theme Editor, and it shows me what my site looks like. Now at the moment my site is very basic, and if you're starting in Shopify you've probably spent a certain amount of time in the theme editor already, but it shows me what theme I'm using. Currently I have Dawn selected. Dawn is an example of a 2.0 theme. Up here at the top, we've got this selector bar that allows us to search for the products and collections we've got. Now this is the theme editor, so we're going to start off by choosing a collection. I'm going to do a search in here for home audio, and it's going to allow me to select one of my collections. Now this collection uses the default collection template. So while I'm looking here at a preview of a single collection called home audio, I'm going to be adjusting the default collection. So even though I'm doing this for a single for a single collection, it's actually going to apply to all my collections, or all my collections that use the default collection template. What I want to do next is actually take the breadcrumb, and I want to embed it. Now in the past we'd have done this with Liquid, but now it's done using add section. So if I go to add section and scroll down at the bottom, there are apps, and one of the apps that exposes a new section is called Category Breadcrumbs. If I click on this, it allows me to add this app, and we should see further down the page, yeah, a breadcrumb has been added. Now this breadcrumb is basic. We're in a top level category at the moment, and it's also in the wrong part of the page because the theme editor has put it there down the bottom. We can reorder that by dragging these little glyphs up and down. So I could lift it up a little bit and have it appear here. I could lift it up a bit higher and have it appear somewhere near the top of the page. I can drag this back down, have it feature here where it seems to fit quite naturally into the page. The breadcrumb here is basic, as I said. What I'd like to do now is choose a different preview collection so that I can see what the breadcrumb looks like in different cases. If I go here and click change, I can do a search, and if I choose something like feature phones, then here I can see a different example. Now we're still editing the default collection, and we've still got the breadcrumb on the default collection, and this will show all through our store. If I save this now, we can actually have a look at it in the store. So if I click this link, it will open up the actual collection, and if I click view, it will show me the storefront version of that. So this is a great illustration of how powerful the theme editor is. What's really nice about it, I'll just remove this little glyph over the bottom. What's really nice about it is that it does show us a very lifelike version of our store. So this is what it looks like for my customers at the moment. You can see that here are the different breadcrumbs, and I can click on any one of these sections. But if I go into the theme editor, the view I'm seeing in that theme editor is very close to the same thing. Now, so far we've dealt with this up to collections, but another thing we might want to do is add this same breadcrumb not only to collections but also to products. And the method for doing that is exactly the same as what we've seen so far. So go back to the search box. Now I'm going to search for a specific product. If I search for an iPhone, for example, there we go. Shopify search eventually came good. So now I'll select an iPhone, and now what I'm looking at is a different template. We've gone from looking at the default collection to looking now at the default product. It's a product template, and we're previewing a specific product, in this case an iPhone 6, as an example of one of the products. We're going to go through the exact same process again that we went through previously, but this time we're going to add the breadcrumb to the product page rather than to the collection page. So again, add section. Scrolling down this list at the bottom, I can see the apps. One of them is Category Breadcrumbs. I can select that, and it will add that app. Again, it's put it in a place on the page that I don't think is quite right, so it's put it right down the bottom here. And what I want to do is lift it up. I'm going to release that now, and it's going to show the product page with the breadcrumb. You'll notice one anomaly here, which is that it doesn't seem to know what category the product belongs in. And that's because we're looking at this only within the theme editor. And as you can see here at the top of the page, the URL for the theme editor doesn't include information about what collection it's in. So even though we don't have information about what collection this product's in, the breadcrumb is doing its best to try to present a proper breadcrumb. It's got the all products link here, which if you click on will take you to the default collection, and that shows you all of the products. What we can do though is set up our store in such a way that we link to these products with the collection. Here, if I flick across to show you this URL in my storefront, you'll now see that this same product, when I show it in the storefront, is showing the proper category breadcrumb technology, and within that mobile phones, within that smartphones, and within that the product. So that gives us a full category hierarchy. You'll notice to do that, the link I use for it is this one, collections, and then the name of the collection, and then products, and the name of the products. Now this is best for SEO. It is the best way to organize your site. I would suggest linking to these versions to make sure you choose a theme that definitely links to these versions, because if your customers come to these versions, they will get a full breadcrumb. If you choose to use this version, which is another URL, you'll notice it does not have collection. In fact, it's only got the product and the product name in there. Then we have to guess at the breadcrumb. It still shows the product name because we know that, but we don't know where it is. And part of the problem with this is that you could have this product in multiple collections, and that's why it's crucial that you choose a URL that has the full collection part, the full collection name in it, so that we can actually show that breadcrumb. So I hope that's been useful. This has been a little whistle-stop tour of how to set up the Shopify Theme Editor in such a way so that you can show breadcrumbs. We've been through showing those breadcrumbs in on product pages, and also showing those breadcrumbs in collection pages. I think I start off with the home audio collection, and if I jump across to that now, you'll see that breadcrumbs in there as well. So with all these things, Shopify is constantly evolving. If you're watching this screencast, you may discover that Shopify has changed the interface slightly. It does happen from time to time, but what I've tried to do is provide a sort of illustration as to how to use this Shopify component, which is the theme editor, and the breadcrumb block that make available. If you have any questions, please click Get Support in the app, and otherwise, best of luck with your store.